Welcome back to the Misunderstood podcast. My name is Khumo Kumalo. I'm your host. And today we're joined here by a special guest. We're joined by someone who thinks about the way the world works, asks us how the world laughs, laughs with the world, gives the world laughs, and does so much more. But I think beyond that is just a human who generally is funny from what I've seen, from what I've experienced. Jerry McSpanky, how are you doing today?
I'm well, thanks, your brother. Are you well?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I mean, I experienced you for the first time at Baba Black Sheep in those Thursday night comedy sessions. And I guess, firstly, one, a very interesting space, recognizing comics, recognizing how familiar the space is and how everyone's familiar with everyone. But I also think the fearlessness, the willingness to just say that jokes or not, I'm going to step on this stage and I'm willing to take those 5 minutes. That's a very special moment. What do you remember about your first 5 minutes?
First 5 minutes, that was 2021. I was a student. I was doing my final year. I think that was just it was in the midst of COVID. During that time I think I was failing like crazy academically. I was not doing so well. So I just wanted to excel at something, at someone who used to as an overachiever in high school. I've known myself as an overachiever. Even during my first year and second year, I'm doing very well. Then come third year, it's COVID. I'm teaching myself most of the stuff. Then I'm failing. So I wanted some control, something that I can do. And I've always been a fan of comedy. For many years. I think I would say that was 2010. That would be 15 years ago. I think that's when I said I want to do comedy. But I didn't think about it in terms of doing a stand-up and telling stories like that. I was thinking of acting. But at that point in time, so the one comedy that I could do as an individual that doesn't need production and a lot of stuff is stand-up comedy. So I went outside, and it was at it was in Greenside, Randburg, at a club, at a bar called The Artisan. So that's when I did my first five. I brought all my friends. Then we were there. I remember getting on stage. I forgot my jokes. Like I forgot what I had to say. And then I look at my friends. I'm like, I brought all these people here. These people believed in me. They've never seen me do comedy. I've never seen myself do comedy. I'm just trying out this thing.
Yeah.
And when I saw those people, that's when I remembered everything that I wanted to say. I just hit it just from the get-go. People just laughing. I don't know, maybe it was because my friends were there, but it was a beautiful night.
Yeah.
And from that day, I said, you know what? I'm going to continue doing this.
Yeah, I mean, take me to your first experience with comedy, because I think it being such a long journey, I mean, you said 2021, so 11 years from that first experience, 2010, all the way
Yes.
through. What were you watching? What were you engaging? But also, what was interesting to you about the thing that is comedy?
Okay, first time I mentioned 2010, right? I'm in class. Like I said, I'm an overachiever. I'm good with mathematics.
Yeah.
You give me algebra, I'm killing it. You give me long division, that's what we're doing. Back in the days, we're doing addition, multiplication, all the kinds of, we're just learning the mathematical operations. It's a beautiful time. So then that meant I was fast with mathematics compared to my peers. So I finished writing my math test. I'm done with my exam. I'm going outside. I remember that day I just watched Mr. Bean. He says nothing. He just does his thumbs up. So what I do after I finish my test, I'm the first kid to finish writing my test. I stood up, dropped my paper, and as I was walking outside, I just dropped my thumbs up, and then just do some weird faces, and everybody just laughed. They were writing, just ease some tension when they were passing, when they were writing the test. But I could tell the teachers were not pleased by that because I was disturbing other kids. But I really felt good about it, And then the teachers scolded me for that. Then I did it again when I was going outside again, and the people laughed again, say he's doing it again, and then it just felt good to see people laugh. So it really felt good because for me, where I'm from is, it was difficult to find something that people can like about me as a person, because as kids really put each other into categories. As a child, I used to do that. I know kids, we don't know what we're doing, but we do those. I wouldn't say it's there's an element of bullying into it. Like for me, I was a poor child. Like we were very poor. So the thing is, I didn't feel like I belonged because other kids, they would talk about the things that they watch. Maybe they're watching nice shows because they had DSTVs and interesting stuff. For me, I had nothing interesting about me. So when I made people laugh, that was the first interesting thing about me. So that's what made me like, you know what, I have something to offer to society that's making people laugh. So that's how it all began. Then over the years, I'm like, I want to be an actor because my first comedy was Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
And then my father was used to watch a lot of Eddie Murphy. So he used to watch a lot of those movies. What's this guy? What's his name? Martin Lawrence. So yeah, watch a lot of watch a lot of those movies. So that was my first exposure of comedy. Then over time, when I went to Vet University, so that was the first time I've had a concept of stand up. I didn't know about it. I was in high school. I used to give speeches in high school. Then we're just talking. People were like, yo, you like Trevor Noah. I said, what are you talking about? I'm just giving a speech. We're talking about teenage pregnancy. But they think I'm making jokes. No, this is a serious matter that I'm talking about. Maybe I just had the funny bone. I didn't even knew who Trevor Noah was. I'm like, I don't know who that is. Then when I went to Vet University, you get first access to YouTube. You got so much Wi-Fi. You're just watching everything that's on the internet. So I think I watched a lot of Trevor Noah stuff. I'm like, oh, this is what is stand-up. This is interesting. But I never thought of doing stand-up myself, like honestly. I think that was in 2021 when during the COVID, I was watching a lot of, who was the guy? Eddie Griffin. So that's when I'm like, oh, actually I can do this thing. Then when I got the opportunity, I just grabbed it and then just went on stage. So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that you say there that I think is interesting. What I do admire though is the math side, because I think what's interesting is that a lot of people who do anything tend to have a very like processed way of putting things together. And there's a weird thing about like math and the ability to problem solve.
Yes.
And when you think about comedy and trying to get to a punchline,
Yes.
there's almost like starting somewhere or ending somewhere and working your way to it. And so I'm curious to know, in your journey and in your formation and in being able to tell these jokes, tell your story and being able to be yourself on stage, how does that actually come about? What does that process look like? And is it formulaic in the way in which your brain has been able to do other things like math?
Yes, precisely. Because I'm not a big fan of mathematics. Like I work with mathematics, I work with numbers all the time. I just have the ability to do numbers.
Yeah.
And the part of the brain is simply pattern recognition. With mathematics, you're able to see patterns that other people may not see. Even in science, you're able to see, okay, why does that thing move that way? So in comedy, then, it's the same thought process as mathematics or science. So what do people laugh at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go on stage, let's say on day one, you say something funny. You don't know why that thing was funny. Then you realize, maybe it's because of how I said it, or these words, or it's because they relate to this. So that is pattern recognition. You are recognizing all these things, and then you put all this intelligence together to formulate a joke. So that's how it works. You understand people, where they come from. So this is the kind of jokes I can do with these people. Then for me, but where I am now, I try to write jokes that you don't need to relate to those jokes. You don't need to know me, where I'm coming from. I can tell you where I'm coming from and be able to be funny, because I want to be funny to all kind of audiences. Everywhere I go, just know that this guy is gonna tell you a joke and it's gonna be hilarious. But it's just the mathematical thinking of I'm removing the unnecessary elements.
Yeah.
There's in statistics we call it noise. Call it like it's a random noise. Let's remove this and focus on the real thing. So like, how do I extract this joke to make it as funny as possible without having to allow for factors such as context, where someone comes from, culture. No, I'm trying to remove those and tell jokes that can rock everyone. So mathematically, in terms of art, same thinking process, just different outputs. So, but same process.
I think one of the things I'm very interested to hear your understanding of it, the idea of performing in different rooms and performing to a specific audience. Conceptually, it's a very interesting thing, because I think for a lot of people who aren't in the stand-up world, it sounds very weird. Like, what do you mean an audience? You can perform for a specific audience. But we've learned that there are some comedians who've been able to maximize among specific audiences, specific culture groups, specific demographics. What do you make sense of the idea of how South African comedy is different to global comedy, where we have these different pockets, these different cultures, where people can either tap into and establish themselves wholeheartedly, or decide to be very far removed from it and be able to still give a joke, give a good set?
I think it depends on who you are and what you're trying to achieve, right? So let's just you mentioned something about different pockets in the comedy scene in South Africa right now. I think it's all over the world. It's just that in South Africa we're a diverse country, right? We have a lot of we have multiple languages, and then comedy, how you do comedy, then you use words, and words then come from what the language, you know what I'm saying? So then there's but so the way in which the comedy scene is structured right now, then there's comics who do comedy in English, and then there's comics who do comedy in their native languages. So it's a matter of understanding. For me, I just understand myself. For me, I've tried. So like I said, I try different things. What works, what doesn't work. So I've tried being in the Venek comedy. I've done it many times. It doesn't work. So as a Mets guy, I see the numbers. The numbers don't lie. Do you know what I'm saying? I've done it so many times that I know, you know what, this is not for me, and this is not my point of strength. I should not be pursuing that. So I would prefer to go for only English understanding audience. But what I have seen is that the guys in the Venek space, they kill it on stage. That guy just said some phrase in Zulu. Everybody is laughing. Then you can say, oh, they're able to maximize that. But that's their strength. They've put in so much time into that. Do you get what I'm saying? So they have experience in dealing with those people. Even if it's not their, even if it's not their language, they can rock someone's language and still be able to produce a joke like that. I've done it before. I've done jokes in Chivenda because I'm Venda, right? I have a set in Venda, but I'll prefer not to do that. The reason being, I only get to perform it once. So because where I'm from Venda. And Venda, we don't have a lot of Venda people in the country. Do you get what I'm saying? So in terms of the numbers, that does not make financial sense for me because I only get to perform once in a year. And to develop a joke, I can't develop a joke that I'm only going to perform it once in a year or twice in a year.
Yeah.
And I don't have time to be able to. It's a waste of time. So then I've just chosen, you know what? Then English is fine. That would be my point of, that'll be the pocket that I want to specialize in, because then I can be able to go to all over the world, everywhere. Then that's fine. That's why I'm saying the jokes that I write, they must not just be because it's South African culture. I don't even do jokes about vendor stereotypes anymore. My first joke was about vendor stereotypes, doing witchcraft and and all this kind of stuff, right? Because people know about it. People in South Africa know about it. But I know, but over time, I'm gonna grow big. I won't be able to make those jokes. I'm outside of South Africa. There's jokes that I know they won't be able to work because people don't understand context. So that's why I'm removing things about that has to do with context. I want to focus on the jokes that I can use all over the world. So that's just where I am. So yeah.
Gee, that's a lot of thinking that goes into how jokes are presented, how jokes are created, what an audience is likely going to relate with,
Yes.
what can be communicated. And I think, like a lot of the time, the thing that isn't valued to a great extent, well, maybe it is like comedy being a communication platform and a means of telling a story, but also then getting a reaction from the audience about how they understand that story. And it's a symbiotic relationship where both parties are working with each other. And that is a very interesting space. But what I do ask then is, when you are creating, where are you going for that inspiration? Where are you drawing those initial ideas from? Where's the intuition coming from?
Just everyday life. For me, I don't think it doesn't come that hard for me. I can talk about literally anything in the world. So whatever that I only tell jokes that I find funny myself. Like, I only talk about the things that I find interesting. I know the audience may like certain things. Like, I don't find that funny. I don't want to talk about those things. Whatever that I find funny in my daily life, something happened, then I can talk about anything. But the reason why I can talk about literally anything and make it funny is because over the years, I've been doing comedy for 4 years. I've learned the art to be funny, to take a story and make it funny. I can tell a story about anything. So that is what I've learned. So what I talk about is just whatever that I find funny, whatever. There's really nothing much about it. At the end of the day, my goal is very simple. Like, I'm a very I'm a method guy in how I do my things. At the end of the day, whatever that I say there must be funny. I don't even care about educating people about anything. If you want to learn, go to school.
Yeah.
That you know what I'm saying? That's just my philosophy. If I tell you a joke and you happen to learn something, oh, that's great. You got yourself a funny and a free lesson. That's it. But my point is, I need to be funny. Doesn't matter what I'm talking about. Whatever that I'm gonna say here has to be funny. End of story. That's it. Can I make this funny? Then cool. That's my inspiration. I don't need a lot of stuff.
I'm interested then to know, what in your world do you find funny? What are the things that you particularly look for, or you've seen that you've gone like, wow, that was a thing that then evolves into a joke?
I just love words, man. Yeah, I just love how words are being put together. Like random things that don't make sense.
Yeah.
And to make sense out of things that don't make sense. That's what I love. To put people into that rabbit hole. To make people laugh into things that they shouldn't be laughing at. It's like, why am I laughing at this thing? This is so stupid. I'm laughing about a jellyfish. Why am I laughing about a jellyfish? I ate 2 peanut butters in the morning. And people are laughing at that. That line itself, I can write a joke from just that. And it's ridiculous. Like, why am I thinking... Like, I'm talking about the most intelligent people in the world who are so uptight. Just make them laugh about stuff that they normally wouldn't even laugh about.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm trying to do, honestly. So, yeah, random stuff. There's nothing deep about it. I'm not trying to be deep. But maybe let me explain this. Why that is an advantage to me. The reason why I do comedy and what I do. I've been explaining. So I work as an actuarial analyst, right? So we do a lot of maths. We do a lot of stuff. We just be doing stuff. We just be calculating. We wake up in the morning. We punch numbers. That's what we do the whole day and communicate those numbers. So the value in me for that, in comedy and in my actual profession, is 2 things. I don't feel the need to be smart when I tell my jokes. I know I'm smart. I've proven that. I went to vet university. That has been proven. You know, I've gotten the 2 vet degrees. I've passed my actual exams. I've done so many things. Where I work, I've produced beautiful results. I know I'm in the business of being smart. That's what I do every day. So when I tell my jokes, I don't want to be seen as a smart comic. No, see me as funny. I'm here to be funny.
Yeah.
Right? So when I go to work, I'm not looking for any validation of being like, yeah, I have a character, you know, I'm cool. You can see me as cool. I don't care about that. When I'm outside, I'm cool. I'm on stage. I'm telling jokes. People are laughing. You get what I'm saying? I'm not there to make jokes at work, to make people, we're here to do the job. So therefore, it's easier for me to focus on what I have to do.
Yeah.
When I'm working, I'm focusing on working. When I'm doing jokes, I'm focusing on doing jokes. I'm not trying to sound smart. I'm not trying to be funny at work. So then that allows me, it creates this, I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, 2-pronged system to an extent.
Yes.
That is very interesting. I think even though they are separate worlds, do you ever feel as though you bring in elements from one world into another?
Eventually, yes. You can't be that separated for that long.
Yeah.
I've tried, but eventually they do. Those things, they do collide. I think in comedy, of course, that allows me to be a human being. So I'm telling jokes, let's say, about what happens at work. I'm telling a story. Then do you get what I'm saying? So I wouldn't just leave my job and just focus on comedy itself. If I'm leaving my job, I have to be doing something else that allows me to be an everyday human being who's not creating things, just living. You know, because because creating is about telling stories. I can't tell stories that I did not live. So I need to go there, live, and be able to tell these stories. So yes, being what I do professionally allows me to be a better comedian. And at work, sometimes it just allows me to relax. Sometimes things get intense. I'm like, man, I don't care.
I'm gonna make a joke about
You know what I'm
you
saying?
later.
You know what I'm saying? I'll just write a joke about this. It's fine. You know, say what you want to say. It's fine. I'll get something out of this. Or just to loosen up the people in the, let's say in a meeting, just say, just because I think humor is very much, it's important, you know, in intense situations. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to, but I think it's just terrible for me because some people will tell a joke at work and I'm like, man, that's not funny.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is for me to sit down and write a nice joke? You're telling this like easy jokes and everybody's laughing like you're the funniest guy. Like, no, no, man, go write a joke. Where's the punchline? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. But Yes, they do. They do collide. There's no way. You can't live like that. It's impossible. You can't live two lives. It's impossible.
It's interesting what you say towards the end. The idea of a good joke, because I think it's something that I don't want to say this because I don't want to discredit audiences, but
Yeah.
maybe it's true. Audiences don't value good jokes the same way comics value good jokes, and it's not to say that this is comics saying what is allowed to be funny and what's not allowed to be funny, but
Yes.
there's almost an element to they understand what they are looking for in a good joke, and you pointed out something there. It's like it's missing a punchline.
Yeah.
What was your grasping of what a good joke was, and what has that now come to be being in the space for 4 years?
A good joke, people are laughing from their stomachs. They're crying. They can't hold it. They go home. They think about what you said. They felt good. That's a good joke. So then you mentioned something about comics saying, oh, a comic will appreciate that joke. Maybe it was just a smart joke. It was so smart. That's a punchline, but were you funny? At the end of the day, we're here to be funny. We're not here to impress other comics that I can write a good joke. Did the audience laugh? You get what I'm saying? Well, there are other circumstances wherein maybe the audience is just not feeling you, maybe that day, whatever, because comedy has to do with energy. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, did the people laugh? They didn't laugh. What are you doing? What is the comedian? It's the person who makes other people laugh. The people who didn't laugh, they just had some words. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like, what were you doing? So that's it. For me, a good joke is a joke that makes people laugh. So that's how I write my jokes. Like to maximize the impact of the laugh, like to maximize that. That's what I do. Like if I tell a joke that is not funny, let's say 3 times, it get laughs. They come in like, oh, that's it. That's a nice one. I'm taking it out. I'll never tell the joke again. There are jokes that I will never tell again. They're funny, but I'll never tell them again.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
They're not they don't give the impact that I want them to do. Because the thing is, would I pay for that joke? That's what I ask myself. I want a joke that people feel like I shouldn't be watching this joke for free or for the amount of money that I paid it for. That's what I do. I only do the things that I'm good at. I've tried many things in life. If I was terrible at them, I'll quit. I've tried some. You can think about any artistic thing a person can do. I've tried them. Being a rapper, man, everybody has tried being a rapper. I actually had a song, man. I used to be PJ. I was rapping. I was rapping in Venda. So, yeah, but I had bars in Venda. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a good rapper, so I quit. That's the thing. So if I try something, like I try playing football, I'm terrible. So I'm not going to play that thing. No one's going to come watch me do this thing. I'm wasting their time. You get what I'm saying? So the reason why I do comedy is because I know I'm good at this thing. So that's why. And if I know I'm good at this thing, I need to make sure, I keep on checking myself, am I that good? So if I'm seeing that I'm not being good, I'm removing stuff that makes me not be good. That's it. I only write good jokes. If it's terrible, I'm throwing it away. I will never tell a bad joke more than 3 times. That's it. Yesterday I did some new jokes. Yeah, they got some laughs. I'm not going to tell them again. That's it. They're gone. That's it. There's going to be some new jokes that I'm probably going to tell tonight. You know, some jokes from yesterday that were funny that I want to see how can I make it more funny. If it can't be more funny than that, like, this is not making it the cut. It's not making it. This is not going to happen. I don't like it. That's it. But if I was a terrible comedian, I would have quit by now. I almost quit this week because I died on Monday.
Yeah, I think it is interesting, and this might be 2 questions in one here, but it's interesting speaking to you because I see the stark motivation to be great at whatever you do, and it's almost built in you, and it's
yes.
There's almost this recognition of, okay, I know my capacity has been hit here and I'm gonna leave. And the interesting thing with any live activity is that some days you're on, some days you're off.
Yes.
Now, of course, as you get better, as you do it a lot more, it becomes most days, and the off days become less and less.
Yes.
But what then has been your journey of living, if there have been, the ups and downs of comedy, bombing a night, not necessarily getting the same laughs, not necessarily doing as well as you want to?
Yes.
Because there's the comics who will beat themselves up, right? That's the end of the day. It's fine. Don't speak to me. I'll catch you next week. Better jokes. I'm going to do the thing. And there's some people who just even that experience in and of itself will shut them out. It'll be, I don't want to come back again. I don't think I can ever do this again.
Yes.
How do you manage all that stress, all that evolution that you go through?
Well, the question is depends on context. In other forms of life, and maybe other arts or any discipline, people will say, be persistent. Don't beat yourself about it. As a comedian, you gotta beat yourself about it. That's it. So there's a rule in comedy. You're only as good as your last set. So if I know that I've been doing terrible for the last 5 days, I'm just hoping for the next day I kill. I need to make sure that my next performance is gonna be so good. So that's what I do. Or I'll perform like an old joke of mine to see, do I still have it? Is it because sometimes you die because you're trying new material. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep on doing the same joke over and over again, then you don't know where you're going. So I'm testing my growth. But at the same time, I know I've killed before. So you know what? Let me test out the material that I've done before that I know it works. If that is going down, then something's wrong. But if then I'm doing well, or I can just go to a good show that I know, okay, these people are here for what? For comedy. Yeah. If I'm dying there wherein people are there for comedy, then something's wrong. But to be able to uplift myself, I'll go to a room that people are there for comedy, and I'll perform the material that I know that works. Then if that works, then I'm better now. So because that was my last set, I'm only as good as my last set. But I've had this advice. I don't know who said it, but comics give each other this advice. It just goes, I don't know who the first to come up with those words, but they quote each other. Like that guy told me, but I last heard them from a lady called Mbali Gudaz, but she was quoting someone else. I don't know who she was quoting. Who was quoting someone else? Was quoting someone else. But that there was some quoting that was happening, so I'm gonna quote it right now. It's just a quote. It's not my words. It's a quote from Mbali Gudaz that she got from another quote. It says, "Don't let your best performance get into your head, and don't let your worst performance go to your heart." You know what I'm saying? Don't take it by heart. If it's bad, don't take it by heart. If you feel like you killed tonight, you don't feel like you're the best guy in the world, because tomorrow's coming. You're gonna die. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it's just this kind of philosophy, but it's just the community of comics, and to see like your hero dying on stage. Like, damn, even my hero died. Do you get what I'm saying? You can kill on the day that your hero dies. Your hero does terribly, but that's because maybe your hero is trying out something new, or just not his day that day. Do you get what I'm saying? And then you kill that day, or tomorrow then you die. So it's just knowing that this thing changes over and over again, But if you die more than you kill, then maybe you should quit.
Then maybe it's really not for you.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for me, it's just I've killed enough that okay, you know what? It's fine. I'm just having my bad night. So I'll be back next week. I'll be back next month, next year. I'll find something. I'll do it. That's it. So yeah.
Walk me through this journey of 4 years of being a comic, because I think the South African industry is not like the American industry. It's not like where you do shows and you get a sitcom, and then after getting a sitcom, you grow your name. It seems very much like it's always evolving. It's always trying to catch up. There's now this digital media space and everything.
Yes.
Everyone has their journey. Everyone has their story. What has yours been over these last 4 years?
So started 2021. So I wouldn't even say I didn't do much comedy. Probably I was on stage like 3 to 4 times. So in comedy, that doesn't even count. 2022, same story. I was still at the university. So I think 2023, that's when I started doing a lot of comedy. Discovering myself, what I find funny. How to write a joke, how to be funny. And then in 2024, that's when I was on stage most of the time. And in the middle of 2024, so I wanted to up my game to be able to grow, like you said, to grow my audience, because what I have seen, so it's just the art of selling. How do you sell a product? Yeah. You need to be able to create a market to sell that product. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can't be, there's some products you can't be selling in your house. You gotta take them out there, have a stand. So I started a podcast. It's called The Random Guys. So I do it with Khabanem Loy. So I think that the podcast does help with that, because that's how I've seen how people buy tickets. People buy tickets because of they know a person, not because they are a fan of comedy.
Yeah.
Because the comedy industry in our country is a very new industry. It's very young. Actually, I am participating in building the industry. So I didn't find an industry that was well established that existed. If it is there, I have not benefited from it to that extent. You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying from what I know, we don't have that. So whoever is out there doing comedy, I'll just say we're all building the industry. We're all just still building the industry. So for me, I was like, you know what? I want to participate in building the industry. So with the podcast, then that brings people into comedy. So most people are first time listening to a comedian, let's say on a podcast. So most people who come to my shows, those people are first time coming into the comedy industry. So that's what I've learned over time. And most of my audience, when they come to my shows, first time. It's first time.
Really?
Even a friend of mine, what's his name, Sunde Nindo, right? It's I think we started doing comedy around the same time. So like from what I have seen, most people who are coming to those shows are first time people, like they are first time fans coming to, because they know us. So that's what they are coming for. But then that's where we're introducing them to the industry. So I think that is just where the industry is compared to USA. I had a comedian a comedian. His name is Robbie Collins, a legend in comedy. Like, that guy knows how to write a joke. That guy writes joke, and the way in which he performs, like, it's just way out of this world. So you were saying something. It was actually I heard about this yesterday. He said in New York, you can set up a show today, like, and you can say you have a show in 2 hours, and people are gonna buy. They don't even care who's there. They just buy. Every day you can have like multiple shows the whole day, every hour, the same venue, just different people, or just the whole entire street, just shows. So that means their industry is well developed there in terms of comedy. But South Africa, we're not yet there. But that's what I'm trying to do in this country, being able to build such kind of infrastructures, to build such kind of a culture of comedy. So that's where I am. So I just started. I did my first one-man show this year.
Wow.
So it was sold out in Senton.
Congrats. Yeah.
Thanks, man. But then I want the idea is to do that each and every year, or each and every quarter, to be able to build that momentum, and soon do the lyric theater. Build, like, I have to do it as fast as possible. I give myself a deadline. If I can't sell out the lyric theater in the next 5 years, I'm quitting comedy. I'm telling you right now. I have other things I can do better. Therefore, I'm not good at comedy. It's not sustainable. It doesn't make sense for me to continue with this thing. Like, that's it. That's just my plan. If this thing's not working out, I'm out. That's my goal. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting story. And it's a story that I also think is so hard and true about any creative in South Africa, which is there is, well, probably less so about like traditional media.
Yes.
At least these newer industries. People are both watching their favorite creators, watching their favorite comics, watching their favorite people be in the spotlight while they are saying they're still creating the space, the industry, the places, the opportunities that can exist. And I always ask, what then keeps you motivated? Because there's so many people who would opt out, who would go, actually, there is nothing here, or actually, there isn't something that's very clear, very easy to see. There's no clear path. There's no one way of doing it. So every time that you do go back, every time that you do put on a show, every time that you do go, I am going to give of my best, what's driving that?
So it's firstly, I envy people who quit early. They're able to see, okay, you know what, I can't do this. Whatever that is required, I can do it, but whatever that is required of me, I don't want to do that. I don't have the willingness to go through that. It's a thing of, let's say you want to be an athlete. And then they tell you have to wake up at 4 a.m. and run 50 kilometers per day.
Yeah,
I'm like, no. If that is what is required, then I will do it. Maybe that works, but I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I do envy people who realize, you know what? Hey, whatever that you want out of me, I can't do that, or I'm not willing. I don't love this thing enough to do that, or I have other priorities that I have to do other than to do this. I envy those people, right? But the thing that keeps me going is I've seen people do it. I've seen people do it so it's two people, my inspiration, right? I think, well, in terms of their art, yes, but I think they're mostly it's not just the art, it's just the commercial success that they have built and the strategy that they've used. I'm a guy of strategy. Like, if I say, oh, I've been doing this for 4 years, what have I been doing?
Yeah.
Exactly that. Okay, I did that thing didn't work out. Okay, I put out a show, it didn't sell out. Why didn't the show not sell out? Okay, my marketing strategy, who was selling the tickets? Or I just put it on my WhatsApp status. Okay, I only have 20 contacts.
Yeah.
So then I'm not gonna sell at a 1,000 venue. So being able to say, okay, what are the strategies that I put and what are the strategies that I'm doing? So what I do, I just test out different strategies of doing whatever that I want to do. So I'm a strategy guy. I'm not just vibes guy. Like, oh, if people don't like me, who doesn't like you exactly? Let's go mention them. You get what I'm saying? Oh, that guy doesn't like me. Why don't they like me? Do you get what I'm saying? So like being able to build these kind of strategies. But I mentioned two people that I've seen it do it very well. So that is Casper Nyovest and Trevor Noah. These two guys, they've done so much in the entertainment industry of South Africa than anyone can ever imagine. Right?
Yeah.
I was show you with Trevor Noah, right? He sold out the Lyric Theatre back to back after doing comedy for 2 years.
Jeez.
He started comedy when he was 26 years old.
Jeez.
So, do you get what I'm saying? Do you see it? And people told him, like, big comedians, you can't do that.
Yeah.
He went ahead and do it. Do you get what I'm saying? Casper Nyovest, the guy just very young I think he was also like, I think 24, 25. Very young brewer. Went outside selling out big stadiums, selling out the dome, just doing all these things. Just the first guy to ever do this kind of movement.
Yeah.
Then that tells other people, hey guys, we can do this. That's how you build an industry. So next time when someone says, I'm selling out the theater, oh, that thing that Trevor Noah did. Oh yes, that thing that Dylan Oliphant did. That thing that Robbie Collins did. So when these guys pull out these mega shows, that is telling people that this thing is a big deal. Music, rap, it's a big deal. All this kind of because for example in hip hop, Casper was the first one to pull out such big events for hip hop. Other kind of music genres, they could do that.
Yeah.
You know, they could do Maskandi. Everybody's out there, Spangler everywhere. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Then Casper is there with his with that braid.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Ponytail.
You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. You get what I'm saying? But then that tells everyone in the hip hop that yo, we can rock this thing. So when Trevor did that, like yo, we can rock the leader. We can do all these things. You get what I'm saying? But it's not just about like believing, oh, I can do this. What are you gonna do? What's the strategy? How are we going to do this? So I'm planning to do the lyric very soon. I have my own ways.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, but also, I have my own ways. I'm thinking about it, how I'm going to execute it, but I need to do it like very early. If I don't do that thing, I'm out. And I've seen who else? This guy called Vafa Naragi.
Yeah.
You know the guy? He's doing a tour all over South Africa. That guy inspires me. Like what he's been, like he's very new in the game, like doing stand-up. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the guy you can see it. That thing was properly planned. There's proper strategy. That guy isn't just waking up in the morning with vibes that I believe in myself. That's not just belief. There's a plan behind it. That guy is planning whatever that he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but whatever that he's doing is working.
Yeah.
And I can see there's a very well oiled machine that is working behind being able to put on such a show. So then now when someone says I'm doing a tour, oh, that thing that Vafa was doing, oh yes, oh you guys came to Polokwane, you guys come to Rustenburg. Who else is coming? Do you get what I'm saying? So these guys are building the culture. So that is the thing is also me seeing these guys build such a. I know a culture is being built, and I'm going to contribute more into building that kind of a culture. And the thing is, if I don't become a superstar by the age of 30, like I said, I'm quitting. Think about the people who are your favorite artists? How old are they?
Yo, my favorite artists are all old.
When did they become dope?
Oh yeah, very young. Most of them were in the like 20s.
Exactly.
Even like the tech CEOs that I read about, all of them are very good at very young
Exactly.
age.
So that's the thing. If you like, that for me, it's like In the entertainment industry, I look at the data. Okay, when do people become superstar? But maybe if I don't do it for that long, hey man, like Tyler, look at Tyler now. The one for water. She's she's my peer, probably even younger than me, but she's a superstar. That's when people become superstar when you're young. You get what I'm saying? So for me, if I don't become a superstar when I'm young, I'm out. That's it. I have my own strategies that I've already thought about, just from my actual background. It's just how to sell out shows, how to do stuff. But in the meantime, I'm working on my art, because what's the point of selling out a garbage product? I don't want to bring people. I know I can sell out a very big. I can sell out the lyric in the next 6 months. If I sit down and plan, I'm gonna do that. I know I can do it. I already have plans that I can roll out that. But I'll be doing a disservice to the audience if my material is not tight. So that's my biggest worry. You know what I'm saying? The material. Selling out, I can do that. Like, if I really want to do it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? But then the thing is, there's just a payment that you need to pay. You know what I'm saying? Am I ready to go through that kind of a process? So that's just that.
There's so much that you say there that I think it draws out a very interesting question, which is, what does the comic community look like for people who don't know? Because I think there is something that's almost so, I don't want to say this, but maybe to some degree, that there is a more greater willingness to allow people in comedy in very different ways, where every other industry tends to have a lot more gatekeepers, there tends to be a lot more processes, there tends to be a lot more limitations. So as someone who's in the space, as someone who's part of the community, aware of the community, what is it actually like, and what has your experience been of them?
Are they gatekeepers? Okay. It depends. What do I want to enter? You know? Okay. Barriers to entry. There are no barriers to entry in comedy. Barriers to entry is yourself. That thing is difficult. You go in there the first night, that thing is gonna tank your self-esteem, and you're gonna go home and say, "I don't want to do this thing again. I ruined comedy for myself. I should have just been on an audience." Because you, as soon as you're on the other side, every time you watch comedy, you remember that day. Yes, what did I do? I ruined comedy for me. Right? So barriers to entry, it can only be yourself. But in terms of entering, you can just go to a random room, and then you start doing an open mic. Do you get what I'm saying? And but the thing is, you don't get paid in the early stages of doing comedy. So most people, then they're gonna quit. Like, this is not worth it. That's people who are into for money. So if you can do it for money. I'm not saying don't do it for money. You can do it for money. But the thing is, you need to be like, for example, my job, what I do it for money. It's not because I love numbers. I don't want to be the one like, today Pythagoras, yes. Like, no, I don't care about numbers like that. But the thing is, I have the ability to do numbers and to do it very well. So if you have the ability to do comedy so well, then you can rock it. You don't need to love it. But honestly, if you really want to do comedy, I'll advise you to love that thing, because it doesn't get people paid. My job gets me paid. So, like, even if it's a bad day at work, hey, I signed a contract, we're going to get paid here. Do you get what I'm saying? I know I'm going to get something out of this. But with comedy, you can go there for the whole year. Zero payment. Do you get what I'm saying? And you're just dying every day. So that's that. But to start the comedy, no barriers to entry. It's just that. But then to continue, that's when the problem comes. And the thing, we're not a lot. Like, I know the comedy superstars, they know me, but still that doesn't mean anything for me. That doesn't mean anything for them. That doesn't mean anything to anyone. We are still, our industry is still very small. We need each other. Actually, we need more comedians in the industry. That's all I'm going to say. We need more people to do comedy. If you feel like you're funny, come rock a self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. So yes. So there are no barriers to entry. I'm not going to lie. The industry is still very small. The pie is big. Like, there's so much we can do. And I wouldn't say there's a way to do comedy in South Africa. We haven't really defined that, what is comedy. We're still trying. Everyone's trying out their new stuff. Maybe if people know me, if I become a superstar, then people will think that comedy, that's how comedy is like. You know, when people entered like comedy, let's say during the time of Trevor Noah, they thought like talking about race was the thing. You know, but why? Because he defined the standards of comedy. So basically, we don't have the standards of comedy in terms of what is funny, what is not. So we're still figuring that out. We are building the industry. That's it. If I go to someone's show right now, well, let's say a big comic, they might find it weird at first. Like, ew, what's going on here? What's that? Because they don't know, because they know their favorite comic. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
'Cause you get what I'm saying? They don't know what's happening outside of their favorite comics. So that's why I'm still saying we're still in the building phase. That's it. So if you wanna come, then you join and build the community. We're very small.
That's an interesting thing, because I think what I think I ask there is, would you then say that you have an identity, a style, an element that you bring out? Because I think what you touch on interestingly there is that you mentioned someone like Trevor Noah, right? Very
Yes.
political, very race focused,
Yes.
very observer focused comedy, very much like how he sees the world and
Yes.
how he understands and processes the world.
Yes.
Whereas Dave Chappelle, people consider him slightly more crass, slightly more free, more willing to
Yes.
like engage with the ideas of what's happening in the world, contemporary,
Yes.
historical. And he has a very like way of storytelling, and there's these different unique identifiers that people have. Would you say that is a common thing, or do you, as you say, is it just a thing of people just assigning themselves their favorite comic and then just learning what those things are? But then also for yourself, would you say that you ever think about having those things, or do you have those things?
It's a lot of questions.
Yes.
Well, yes, I do have my own things, but I'm still figuring out those things. So I'm a guy of words. I think I did. There's something that I said here. You might have caught up on it when I was talking about people quoting each other.
Yeah.
The quotes. So
Yeah.
that's how I can tell a joke.
Yeah.
Like that's my current format right now. I take one word, I'll say it over and over again in different ways. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's just my style right now. I can tell 3 different jokes, but it's the same joke. I've just using different words now. I'm talking about codes, I'm talking about belly buttons, I'm talking about whatever that I'm talking about. So then I have that kind of identity, but I don't hold on to it. Of course, I try out different stuff, over time. So yes, so people, but what I would say is people watch in South Africa, like I said, they watch people that they like. That's it, and then they will think that is how comedy is done. You know what I'm saying? So, but then they just need exposure to other people. So, oh, it's a whole different world out there. So that's just how it is.
That is very true. I'm interested to ask a very contemporary thing that happened.
What does contemporary mean?
Modern day, very
Okay.
new. Well, I don't necessarily consider it still contemporary, because I think the podcast was about a year ago.
Yeah.
But Dave Chappelle says I think he was speaking to Joe Rogan, and what he said was he'll never do what's now considered like online comedy. And I don't know how to put that in any
Yes.
real like sense. But
Yes.
he was like, I'll always appreciate the live shows, the live audiences, the value in what that is. And he almost went to say that I appreciate comics who are online and what they are doing.
Yes.
And I think he was speaking specifically around Andrew Schultz at the time. Who was
Yes.
doing those, I think, like 1 minute briefs where he was just making jokes and he was just running through things.
Yeah.
When you think about where the world is going, but then also where comedy plays itself in the world, becoming very digital, becoming this thing where everyone's becoming their own marketing agency, their own brand, their own identity.
Yes.
How do you make sense of how your comedy plays into this new world and the way in which people understand the world? Or are those things separate for you?
It's a terrible thing happening in the art space. Very terrible. But the world is changing. We need to adapt. Like I said, as comedians, we shouldn't be marketing agents. Whatever plans that I have for myself that I want to do, maybe to sell at the Lyric Theatre, I should not be doing that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? There are people who went to school to learn marketing, to be able to build such structures. That's what they were supposed to be doing. As a new comic is supposed to, a new comedian is supposed to go to an already established community. They get in there, this audience, then they see if they're funny or not. If they're funny, then they build a career from there. There should be people doing that. That's how I think it used to be. There was that, but I don't know what happened. I think that's how it is even in the USA. So I think Dave Chappelle is able to say that because the market there has matured to that level, right? But then in where we are in South Africa, we don't have such kind of environment. So then we end up having to do both. We need to be able to build our own names. I should not be doing that. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's exhausting. And then I have to forget about the jokes. Now I have to make sure that let's say I want to tell a joke on the internet. I have to make sure that this joke is funny on the internet. And comedy is about energy, honestly. So you're in the room, you know what I'm saying? People know what's going on. It's facial expression. Even the things that are not said, you know, people are able to see that, to fill the room, to see someone like sitting next to me. Online, people don't even see that. So there's that thing that's what I'm saying. It's a terrible thing, but hey, man, that man has to eat. He needs to find ways to put his comedy out there. I wouldn't know him, first of all. Do you get what I'm saying? I wouldn't know this guy. It wasn't for the internet. Do you get what I'm saying? If he wants to sell out a show in South Africa, then I'm able to buy. Oh, I know that guy. I have seen him on the internet.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It might not be the best way to put out the art there, but that's just where we are. You get what I'm saying? People, we need to do what we have to do. So I wouldn't say there's any appropriate. It's just that each and everything has its own pros and cons. It's about what you want to accept. Dave Chappelle, he doesn't want to accept that. He doesn't want to take those the cons of that, and that's okay. And he has the liberty to say,
I'm not going to do that.
I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. You get what I'm saying? There are other people who don't have a choice. My brother, you have to do it. There's no any other way. It just depends on like how long you want to do whatever that you want to do. So, for example, if I want to accelerate my growth, then I might have to do these things.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to analyze, okay, what do I want? It's personal, this thing. What do I want out of this thing? What do I want to do? That's it.
Yeah. I think in that same vein, I ask, what do you make of this new evolution that's taking place in comedy, where it's no longer, and maybe it's less true to the South African market, but
Yes.
I still think it's a fair question because we're seeing South African artists as well grow in this thing. It used to be comics wanting to get their own special with Netflix, with
Yes.
Amazon, with whatever media company that you wanted to name. Over the last 2 or 3 years, and maybe the time frame is incorrect, but let's say 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
We've seen more and more comics decide to self-record, self-fund, and post what would have been considered a special on YouTube.
Yes.
And they've been able to amass views, they've been able to amass audiences, they've been able to develop. And it's actually been a way of people being able to then sell shows down the line because you've watched my special now and you've engaged that. Do you think this is a more accessible, equitable market for comics, as in it'll allow more young comics, new comics to grow into the space? Or do you think it's still very much, and potentially still very much will be, that the value will always be getting a special with a media entity, getting a special on Netflix, and that's where people will frame themselves, dream for, aim for as they grow in the space?
Like, it depends, right? When one decides to go independent, I don't think that's their first thought to say, I woke up in the morning, I'm doing comedy, let me release a special on YouTube.
Yeah.
They have seen other better ways, like Netflix, Showmax, Hulu, all streaming platforms that have better benefits in terms of production. It's quality.
Yeah.
You have all the support, everything is beautiful. The editing, everything is world class, right? So I think those people, they have thought about it. They have seen, okay, they really want that. I'm just making. I will assume somebody will want that for themselves, and already audience that exists that you just say comedy on Netflix, and then comedy pops up and like, oh, this guy, let me watch him.
Yeah.
But there are barriers to entry to that. Streaming platforms don't just want people to just put their stuff there. I mean, what if it doesn't work out? It may work out, it may not work out. So streaming platforms may be hesitant to give you that opportunity. But you feel like you're ready, you feel like you're there. Then you know what? Test yourself. Then you push your work out there. So I think that's just the thought process. Like, it's just that yes, the traditional method may not be working out as one would have wanted it to work. Or, okay, firstly, yeah, it's just being denied access. Secondly, the cost of doing that. It may be that the deal does not make financial sense. That one is being offered by the streaming platforms. It doesn't make financial sense for them. And maybe the conditions of the deal doesn't make sense in that they may say that we're gonna shoot this material. You may never perform this material ever again in your life. You've been writing this material for 5 years and you can't perform it ever again in your life.
That's hectic.
Do you get what I'm saying? But then if you are doing that independently, you have rights. You can just stop streaming it there on YouTube or whatever platform that you're putting it and sell it if you want to sell it for how many years, whatever time period that you want. But if someone is taking, so it's just about what is it that you want to allow with your career. You know what I'm saying? Like what's more important to this access, and then I also think there's a cost thing. So that's it. So it goes back to those things. It's not. I wouldn't say it's vibes. Like I feel like this is better. No, there has to be. But if someone is doing bad vibes, shout out to you. But I think you just need to consider those both options. If I'll prefer a traditional platform to do that for me, to remove, because like for example, I have a podcast, right? I find it difficult to be able to edit the podcast. Like the visuals, everything. That's a lot of work. Now I have to outsource that because it's difficult. And right now, even posting, like I in the beginning, yes, I had the energy. Now I'm tired.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? To put out stuff there, to promote yourself, that's a lot of work. Because if you're putting a special out there, people must also go watch it. The traffic, it's that admin. So you need to think about, okay, what is the admin that I have to do? Do you get what I'm saying? What is the cost if I have to outsource the admin now? How much is that gonna cost me? How much number of views do I need for me to be able to get there? Can I make these numbers? Even if I'm going to shoot my own special, I need people who are going to be shooting, editing. Do I have the money to put out this thing out there? So if you have the capacity to put that, then you know what, it's fine. I can make more money from self-producing than another platform.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it just depends where you are, what deal you're negotiating. But if it's a big guy like Trevor Noah, yes, he does the specials. It's easy for them. They trust him. They trust him.
Yeah.
He has credibility. It's not his first special. He has done this over and over again. Do you get what I'm saying? If they know he brings numbers, so then the cost, they're going to give him a good deal. So it makes financial sense for him. So why would Trevor Noah be worried about all these things?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's someone who's well established. So I think that's just where we are. But at the end of the day, I would say traditional specials are better in terms of cost and just the operational stuff. That's it. And I think the guys who self-produce, they're brave. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those guys. They believe in themselves, and then they, in the sense that they're even willing to lose. You can lose money. You can lose all of your money there.
Yeah.
With Netflix, they can just pay you, and then you made your money. Done. Even if it does well, it doesn't do well, they don't care. They've paid you. Maybe if there's royalties or whatever. I don't know how the deals they structure with each other. You get what I'm saying? But the guys who self-produce, yes, they're taking a bet on themselves. It costs so much money. You have to book a venue. You have to bring people to come watch the show. You have to market the people to come to the show.
Yeah.
You have to do all this work. So then shout out those guys. So at the end of the day, it depends on where you are in your career. As a young guy, come on. I go to Netflix tomorrow, I say, let's shoot. What am I doing? Like, honestly, what am I doing? I shouldn't be doing that. I just understanding of where you are and what's possible. But I wouldn't say each one of them has its pros and cons. That's it.
I think before we close, I want to ask, the world is faced with a very interesting dilemma. And I don't know if it'll ever reach South Africa. I pray it doesn't.
Is there a dilemma?
Yes, yes, there is. Well, actually, I don't want to claim it to this year because if you listen to different comics, this problem has actually been going on for quite some time. Some people might even attest 2018 onwards.
Okay.
Right? The idea of free speech and what we conceptualize free speech, it's not been the thing that people have disagreed about the concept of free speech.
Yeah.
It's what we claim free speech to be. And I remember watching when Dave Chappelle's Netflix special came out.
Yeah.
The one where he made the trans jokes and people were like canceling him and everything.
Yeah.
Just like it was all of that. there was this very interesting moment where the world was asking, what do we do with comedy? This little thing that's allowed to say whatever it wants, whenever it wants. And there's some people who are very much for it. Protect the space, allow the space to be the space, allow everyone to say as they feel. And I think it's been framed to me in the sense of, I'm going to tell the joke, how you feel about the joke is completely your own. But like those two things aren't coincided. The other end of it is a very different side where people are afraid to speak about Charlie Kirk. People are afraid to speak about what's happening in certain places around the world because of the fear of, one, you might not get a visa, or two, there can actually be real consequences, as we had seen with a couple of comics. What do you make of what the role of a comedian is and what the role of language in a comics world is? But also, what do you make of what this massive debate has been around what we deem free speech? And do you ever worry about it in the South African context?
The role of a comedian is to be funny. That's my basic understanding of comedy. And if you say something that's offensive and nobody laughs, you're offensive.
Yeah.
That's it. If you say something offensive and people laugh, hey, this guy is funny. It's an art to be able to say something. For example, look at Dave Chappelle. He has said some outrageous things. Did anything happen to him? Nothing happened to him because he is that good. He is that good. Because if you sit down and really go down to that joke and see, this is just a joke.
Yeah.
If anyone's taking personal, man, you have your own problems. But that was just a joke. But there's someone who can say a joke, you can see, my brother, I don't think that was funny. I don't think you were being funny. You were being offensive. And that is a problem. I've seen this with newer comics. Actually, it's mostly new comics who say this, like, yeah, comedy is not free. I want it to be free. Then they go on there and they say some offensive stuff, maybe about women, about the LGBTQ, about anyone's religion, and just say straight offense. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's an offense. Do you know what I'm saying? That's really an offense. And you have seen Dave Chappelle do it, and you think the joke was the offense. No, there was an actual joke there, not the offense. It's just that he said something offensive in a funny way. Do you get what I'm saying? It's people not understanding why that thing was funny. It was not funny because it was offensive, or like Trevor Noah said something in these jokes. He says something that is very, very smart. Like, yo, that's so smart, and people laugh. But it's not because he says something smart. It's because he is funny and I happen to say something that's very smart. If I go there and they say something very smart, I'm proving a mathematical formula. Like, hey, what's going on with this guy?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? The role of a comedian is to be funny. We can stop it there. That's the role of a comedian. The thing is, comedians were human beings. Some of us were smart. Some of us were offensive. Some of us, we are whatever that we are. But at the end of the day, we are all funny. Okay, not all of us. But the role of a comedian is to be funny.
Yeah.
And these other things. I can be a religious guy. Let's say I'm a Christian, right? Then in my comedy, then I preach the gospel. You get what I'm saying? It's not that if I go preach the gospel, people are gonna laugh. No. It's just that I happen to preach the gospel as I make comedy. So that's just what it is. And in your comedy, we're able to tell the kind of person that you are from the things that you say. Those are the things that are happening, let's say, in your world or in your brain. You just happen to bring them out in a funny way. You know. So I'm not a big I'm a big fan of responsible speech. You know, I say, even in my podcast, sometimes I say something very outrageous, but you can tell I'm not trying to offend anyone. The thing, I think it lies in the intention. You can see this person is trying to offend me. This person is making fun of me. Like, even as comedians, we make fun of the audience sometimes.
Yeah.
But you can feel it. That, like, for example, I've seen, like, for example, Pop-Pop's Legend. He can make fun of the audience, right? But then the person feels like part of the room, part of this experience. This guy it's not just mocking me for his benefit, but then the young guys who are not experienced, if I do that, I'm telling you, I'll offend. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I've not acquired the skill to do that thing. So I think it's not just about being. You need to be responsible on what you say, how you say what you say. Just because you're a comedian, then you don't have that license, my brother. You're not yet there. So I've seen Pop-Ups. I think he has the he has built, he has that skill of being able to say something that may be offensive, but you're like, oh man, this guy's not making fun of me. We are all part of this experience. So what I'm saying is responsible speech. Comedy, not comedy, whatever that you're doing. Would you say that to a person if you're not doing comedy? Like really? Like, why would you say that about another person? How, like, you need to think about how someone feels. That's what we do as comedians. Okay, that was fun. Okay, I said that was fun. Okay, sure, I'll do it again. Oh, that was offensive. Damn. You did 3 times. People are getting offended, like, maybe you're the problem.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, we need to be responsible. Comedy is it's not just a license for you that you're gonna say whatever you wanna say to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's say I'm making. Okay, there are sensitive things in our country, right? Like gender-based violence. You know, there's someone who can make a joke about that, but then there's some people like, no, don't say that. That is very wrong. You don't ever say that again. Like, I don't care what you think in your brain. Like, this, first of all, this is not the right time for you to be saying that. You know what I'm saying? Then I don't think comedy should be that free as, bruh, there's human rights. Like, yes, we are still human beings who live in the world that is lost. So you can't just say such things. You know, so if it's comedy, then let make sure that it's funny. Make sure that, okay, this is my philosophy. If you're gonna say something offensive, make sure that it's funny enough for the audience to forgive you. That's it. I have a friend of mine. His name is Bongani Due. He will say some very outrageous things, like even as a comedian, I'm like, this is crazy. This is wild. But whatever they say next, I forgive that guy. I'm like, bruh, you had to say that. You're the only person who should say those words as you have said. It's so hilarious. So that's it. That's just me. You know, if you want to be offensive, you need to be very funny.
Yeah.
Let us forgive you. If we can't forgive you, maybe, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. That's a different way of thinking about it. That's giving me a new frame of thinking, because I think I like what you say, responsible speech.
Yes.
It's a different kind of burden, a different kind of onus to the room, but also to yourself and what you're willing to say and what you're not willing to say. But I do say, I guess, in closing now, what's your message to young people, young comics, people who hope to do this thing, but also what's your message just to people out there listening?
People out there listening, try out as many things as you want. And I don't believe anyone is supposed to be anything. I'm not supposed to be a comedian. I'm not supposed to be a father. I'm not supposed to be like a friend. I'm not supposed to be doing this podcast right now. Nothing is supposed to. We wake up in the morning and look at our circumstances and we decide what we want to do. You know, it's a thing of people say you need to find yourself. So to say to find yourself assumes that you already exist. Therefore, I'm following those. I'm trying to look for that pathway. Therefore, I've lived before. I have to live again that thing.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, I don't think life is like that. We wake up in the morning and we decide. You know what I'm saying? If something's not working out, then you can just stop. You can't say, oh, it's because, I was meant to do this thing. No one is meant to do anything. No one is meant to be anyway. It's just the world is here. Let's rock. So if you want to try something out, go try it out. If it doesn't work out for you, it's not because it's not meant for you. It's like you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
This thing you are struggling with this thing, and it's like, hey, my guy, I don't want to do this thing. It's difficult for me. You know what I'm saying? So just go out, try stuff, whatever that works. And if you try comedy. And if you enjoy it, like, how do you feel about doing comedy? You don't want to be doing comedy every day you're dying. Then you're feeling terrible about it. Is that the life you want to live every day of your life?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the. But if you do comedy and then you feels it, comedy for me, it fills my life. So that's like, I want to do even there are bad nights, but the good night that comes, like, oh, this is how I want to live my life. But I've made that is, I can choose not to do it. I don't have to do it. It's just a privilege for me. The thing is, like I said, look at the circumstances in your life. So it's a privilege for me to be able to do comedy. So like my life allows me to be able to choose to do comedy. So that is a privilege that I have. Do you get what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I give grace to myself. Like, you know what? As long as I'm still able to make these kind of decisions and I'm not restricting the decisions, that's all I can be grateful for.
Yeah.
But go out there, try stuff. Doesn't work. If it works, it works. Nothing's supposed to be.
Yeah.
We in the world.
I want to say thank you very much. Thank you for giving me your time. This was cool. I appreciate this, and I wish you the best. I wish you the best in your journey. I wish you the best in all your comedy. What's next? Where do people see you? Where do people catch you at and everything?
Catch me on LinkedIn.
Cool. There, we got it. We got it. To everyone else, if you've made it this far, thank you very much. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, this has been Misunderstood.